Hi, this is Ken Gidge, and this is the art of politics. And you know, I'll tell you, when the Republicans and the Democrats say they all want to work together, maybe they're not telling the absolute truth. But I'll tell you, on this show, which is the art of politics, there is one Democrat, the good guy, which is me, and one bad guy, which is the Republican, Dave Robbins. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Listen, Ken.
Yes.
Are you still a communist?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Oh yeah,
excellent.
you're still beating your wife?
Have
you
I
stopped?
I have not.
No, we've gone through this before. You've done this before. You see, if you ask a question like, "Are you still beating your wife?" No,
you know what?
No, you're not beating your wife, as far as I know.
Can I make a point
no,
here?
you cannot.
I'm not.
I'm
not
talking.
saying about that I'm beating my wife. He's saying he's beating his wife.
No, but
This is just projection on Ken's part. Really, I want you to know.
You know, there's one way to beat you now because you think you're getting smarter, and that's silence. The point that I was going to make was, you said, "Are you still a communist?" Which means to people out there, he's a communist, he's a communist. Well, I'm not a communist, obviously. But there are some people out there who might think I'm a communist. Now, that's the old thing of, are you still beating your wife? Of course you're not beating your wife, or are you beating your wife, or have you stopped beating? So now there are people out there thinking that maybe you're beating your wife. But it's not true. At least I hope it's not true. All right? Now, would you like to continue the show, or would you like to stay in silence?
I'm pouting.
You're pouting. Well, this ought to be a fun show. Well,
He's not being very nice to me. I'd like some cards and letters that, ask Ken to be nice to me.
Cards and letters.
Keep those cards and letters coming
Cards
in.
and letters for what? One person who watches the show? Two, maybe?
Do we have two people?
No. We've got a lot of people, actually. And one individual I met last night who is I'm trying to make this not giving any names. He is a World War II veteran. Mm-hmm. And we were talking, and he said that the VA lost his records, and he needed to go to the VA because of cancer, etc. And he tracked them down himself and got the records and went to the VA. And we talked about that. We said, look, everyone is one. Whoever comes first is first. But if you're a veteran, especially a World War II veteran, you really you're at the top of the line. And when they lose your records, and then when you hear about what the Republicans want to do is cut everything out, then guess what? It's going to be veterans who are going to lose out.
Have you stopped beating up on World War II veterans yet?
I wasn't beating up on them, David, and I think those people are out there smart enough to realize. Since my father was a World War II veteran.
Is he really?
Yes.
Where did he serve?
He was on a hospital ship. I think I told you that story.
Well, I don't know if you told it on the air.
Well, my father was born at St. Joe's Hospital and grew up on Blossom Street with his 4 brothers and sisters.
Okay.
Out of the 3, there were 2 valedictorians, and my father had a photographic memory.
Right.
He was almost blind, so he couldn't get into the service, so he ended up in the Merchant Marines on a hospital ship.
Wow.
He had as a cook.
Yeah.
Now, he had a photographic memory. So what he did was he learned how to cook, obviously read a book. He knows how to do it, basically. What he would do is he'd go around to all the soldiers, the wounded, and say, what would you like to eat as a dessert? And one person said he'd like to smell an apple pie. His face was all smashed up, etc. He couldn't eat it. He just wanted to smell it. Father made it, brought it up there. The guy was dead. So my father walked right up to the operating room, and within 20 minutes, his hands were inside of someone's body, and he was working with a doctor. All he had to do was see it once or read it once. One doctor picked up on it and said, wow, I know this is your first time, but you know all the instruments, you know everything. All he had to do was hear it or see it once. So that's what my father did. He was in World War II, and that's what he did. He was a cook and working in the operating room. So.
Well, it sounds like a good synergy. It actually sounds very impressive. It sounds tremendously impressive.
Well, it's a sad story what took place over that, and I think I've told it once before. What happened is that the doctor took him under his wing and said, "Look, you've got to go to medical school. I mean, you are really unbelievable. I mean, you hear it, you see it. It takes years for us just to remember all of this. And one day, the ship was filled with wounded, and they triage, as you know, the ones who are going to make it, the ones who just aren't going to make it, because you can't take 4 hours operating on someone even to save their life. If you could save 9 lives in return, that's how it works. Sorry. I said to my father, there's 15 people out there. They're all going to die. Here's a great time for you to do some surgery and start looking around and investigating.
Right.
He saved 2. The doctor was absolutely impressed with him. My father said, I saved 2, but 13 died. From that moment on, his life was destroyed.
Oh, dear.
And that was it.
Not to in any way diminish that story, but I understand that you had some medical contacts this past week or so.
God.
What?
You talk about a horror show.
Well, let's see if we can do this in 4 or 5 minutes.
All right. Well, we can do it probably a minute. I went to Algonquin, Maine. We try to go there every year for one main reason is they got the Algonquin Playhouse, which is 80 years old, who's had like Betty Davis up there, the Barrymores were up there, oh God, you name it, people who have gone up there. It's just really a professional acting house. And in fact, maybe you know him, Carson Keesley, was on Dancing with the Stars, very flamboyant.
Carson Kressley, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He was awful. I mean, it was just, we brought some people up there who haven't seen theater like this, and I think they missed out, but he was terrible. So we were there, so the next day I wake up and my shoulder is bothering me, and about a year ago I was operated on, and I haven't had any, well, not too much problems with it. But it woke me up early in the morning, very painful. And so I got out of bed, and then my back started bothering me, and my fingers were tingling, and then all of a sudden my side was bothering me. Hop in the car. Of course, I can't let my wife drive, because if I'm going to die, I've got a 50-50 chance of getting to the hospital. If she's driving the car and I'm in the car, I have no chance at all. It scared me half to death. No offense, but she has a very difficult time maneuvering, can I tell you? She does it very well, but she scares a lot of people. And
are the locks going to be changed on your house when you get home?
Yeah, well, no, actually. I won't get into about the locks in our house. But so we're going down the road, and I put plates on my car. I thought, look, I'm a state representative. Why not? At least we can get a parking place. We went through the parking and all of this. Our plates basically mean where we sit inside the House of Representatives. I'm at 468. You are
357.
357. Okay, that's your seat. That's where you sit in the House of Representatives. So we're going down the road, and don't want to pass people because, A, it's impolite, and I'm one of those people who hate politicians who take advantage of the situation. I mean, I really do. But she said, look, you've got to do it. You're dying. You're on the steering wheel. So I cut a couple people out, and I made it down, and we've got to take a left, and they're working on the light. So I pull up, and I say, I got to go. It's a red light. You can't go with politicians. Look at him. I'm so sick of these politicians. I mean it. My wife yells out, you idiot. He might be having a heart attack. One guy's like, heart attack? Who? Well, he's still got a red light. So one guy walks over and says, wait a minute. Right over there is the fire department. That's where the ambulance is. They wouldn't even go out and stop the traffic so we could get over there. All right? So anyway, we get to Biddeford, which is about 20-minute ride from Wells, where we had to go. Got in there, and they took a CAT scan, and they thought, and they checked my arm, they checked my heart, everything, my heart was fine, and they said, you might be passing a stone, a kidney stone. And I said, that's impossible. I mean, I don't feel anything. He said, well, that's sort of like exactly what it is. And I said, this can't be. I said, but anyway, so we were there till 5:30. We got out, went back to the hotel, had dinner, and then I just went back to bed. So we were going to come back on a Thursday. We stayed an extra day. It was awful. But my point of telling you the whole story was, I'm fine. I've got another doctor's appointment. Is that the way the politicians are treated, especially here in New Hampshire, we don't make any money. Either we do it for our own reasons. You love the job. I'm one of those guys, you know, who yells out the window, I'm not going to take it anymore. And
Right.
basically, I'm up there taking this whole thing personal. I figured it out.
Yep.
And we don't make any money. We have nothing. But yet we're doing the same amount of work as any other representative in the country. We're important people up here. Not that we think we're important, but I don't. But they have to have some respect, at least for us. We're doing the very best we can. There's 400 of us. I think we should have be nice to a politician for at least an hour.
You mean an annual be nice to a politician hour?
Yeah.
I sort of like that. It could kind of be take a politician to lunch.
No, wait a minute.
Less than $25.
Yeah, tell our watchers and listeners exactly how much money we can take out to lunch. If somebody took us to lunch.
Well, given the fact that many of us are often out to lunch, we can take anything over $25 we can't accept.
Well, we can accept it. We just must report it.
Well, no, not. I mean, on that we're talking about apples and oranges here. I'm talking about if a constituent comes up and they take me out to lunch, please take me out to lunch. They haven't, and if they spend more than $25 on me, I can't accept that.
No, that's not absolutely factual.
Well, then why did you ask me to say something?
Well, you got to get
because
it
you've
right.
You've been talking a lot. That's why you were feeling guilty.
You asked me if I was sick or not.
You were feeling guilty about the fact that you've just been going
why
on and on.
They don't like a politician. We can't even figure out if we can keep $25. Well, the law really basically reads for us is quite simply that you're right. $25. That's it. If it's 26, maybe we can take it out of our pocket and pay for it. That's why I go nowhere with anyone under almost any circumstances. And if I do, I said, I'm going to pay. But, you know what we all know what are you doing?
I'm actually reading the prohibition on gifts out of the out of the House record. Just want to get it right. No elected official, public employee, constitutional official, or legislative employee shall knowingly accept directly or indirectly any gift as defined in this chapter, and it defines gifts as in excess of $25.
Okay, what is the penalty?
Oh, less than $25, so $24.99.
Okay, so what is the penalty?
Castration. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, we get our hands slapped and could go before the Legislative Ethics Committee.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, so what a lot of the companies who would like our votes, what they do is they put on buffets, and they invite 100 people.
Right.
And that's how basically that works.
Right.
And if you play it right, you literally can go to breakfast, you can go to lunch, you can go to dinner. And then probably 7 or 8 at night, you can probably go to another gathering.
Well, you're really making this sound as though we feed at the trough of
we do.
Of industry.
There are people who do.
Some of us do.
So yes, I know a lot of people who make that point. Oh, I'm going out to lunch here. Now, lunch, if it's a working lunch, which is political, etc., or a bill that I believe in, I'll go. Mm-hmm. But it's not a private lunch. It's usually 100 people in a buffet.
Right.
That's how they get around it.
That's how they get around it. Can I ask you a question?
You may.
Where the heck is Socrates? Where is Soxy?
Well, I thought Socrates would be replaced because I'm an artist.
You are.
You asked if I had...
And this is the art of politics.
This is the art of politics,
yeah.
Correct. And that's my campaign. I have a picture that says the art of politics. Mm-hmm. But you said your son is getting married.
He is.
You wanted something.
Yep.
And this is, well, fairly conservative. And the people out there, it's 3D, you can't see it. Either you're here, put the...
Here we go.
Yeah.
I can see it. I'll tell you something. This is gorgeous. This is the 3D glasses.
Yes.
Multiply this by tenfold. You can see context. You can see contour. It's neat.
You can even see it from the side.
Yes, you can.
You can even see it from the side.
You can. I can. It looks as though it's raised.
Exactly. And by the way, we got a call from the Boston Globe that's doing a story on this, and they were going back to when I was married in the 1960s, and I'm trying to figure out what type of story they're going to do. Oh my God!
This sounds.
I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
I would be scared.
I think it's not that I'm pushing away from you right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't want lightning to strike.
I would love that leg on that chair to break. And I would make sure that this cameraman kept this thing going.
But let me tell you, I wanted to give my son Josh and my soon-to-be daughter-in-law Lisa something special, something that would hopefully grow in value. And also something that was a real part of my life. And I just love these. Oh, I got it this way. This is the way it should go.
All right.
All right. Well, you know, this is a genuine.
All right, guys, hold on for just a minute. We have a little problem with the green screen here.
Okay.
The green screen.
All right. Tell us when we can go.
What is wrong? Oh, wow. Look. Okay, see, so...
See, my hand's behind this.
Yes, put your head up there. You can't
How's
see
that?
his
You
head
can't see my
right
head.
through his head. You see, what a green screen is quite simply, it's green. And really green. And what happens, anything green shows up 0 because the cameras or the way that it is set up, the way that it's, we're looking in the, he doesn't want us looking there, he wants us looking at the camera. Okay.
Well, no, but I all right.
We're trying to look at it ourselves. We're looking at it ourselves, so we're not looking directly at the camera. Look at that. If I could do that, because it's a green screen, so everything green becomes 0, and what's behind us, what looks behind us would be the house, one of the house chambers or the anteroom.
What do you mean looks? We're in the house chamber.
Right.
We've talked about this.
Yeah, okay.
This is not a look at all.
But I love...
This is windows here and here.
I love the green. You see, because there's nothing there. Good.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. But anyway, I'll do this real quick. I wanted to give Josh and Lisa something that would really be something that I thought was neat, but wouldn't be something that they would have to give away in a yard sale. So this is it. It's a genuine Gidge. I expect this to be worth thousands of dollars in just a couple of years.
And as I was saying, the Globe is doing a story. Oh, and by the way, we went to open an account, a political account, to a Sovereign Bank on Main Street.
Which bank?
Pardon me?
Which bank? Sovereign?
Right on Main Street.
Okay.
And they said, bring some stuff in. So tomorrow at Sovereign Bank on Main Street, there will be some of my work will be displayed. Outstanding.
Will it be for sale also?
Oh, well, everything is for sale.
Okay.
Listen, if somebody runs in and wants to buy this for a couple $100, I'll make you another one tonight. No, everything is for sale.
All right. And just so we're clear, I am buying this. You are not giving it to me, because if you were giving it to me, it's worth $25 or more. It would be an inappropriate thing.
Here we go again.
I am buying this. Cross my heart and hope to die. That's all there is to it.
And there's a lot of, and you know, up at the State House, there were a time when I guess there were men and women who were making passes at men and women. So they've passed an enormous amount of laws. You can't even say to a lady, geez, you look really good today. And they really can't say, you know, you look really kind of happy today. Because they, in a sense, could run and say that this was a sexist, sexual, whatever. It's awful. We can't do anything. We can't say you look good. I saw this lady who works at the State House, who you know her. She was sick. She came back and she looked beautiful. And I looked at her and I said, you look, and I said, intellectual.
Now, this is a woman who wears hats?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, just
all right. In the news, we have your Republican Kelly Ayotte running around the country with McCain, and I believe it is Graham and with their
Lindsey Graham, yeah.
Lindsey Graham, and running around the country arguing that we should not cut defense spending. But it seems even in the Republicans, the conservative Republicans, want to cut the spending for defense, because even when the cut, we're still spending 25% more than any country on earth. In fact, several countries were spending more combined. So that's kind of hypocritical, isn't it?
I don't know. Personally, I think that we probably do need to cut defense spending and be more effective and efficient.
Well, she is your Republican senator. She's running around using campaign money that those people out there gave to her, and she's going around the country because she thinks she's a big deal now. That's the problem with people leaving Nashua, not remembering where they're from. She's running around the country with who? McCain, and she's it's awful.
No, wait a minute. So Senator Ayotte, and here's what I just heard you say. Senator Ayotte is using campaign money. She's not using public money. She's using campaign money that was donated. It's not tax dollars. She's doing working with a couple of Republican senators on issues that are tremendously important, and she's saying that overall the defense budget should be cut by up to 25%. That's what I heard you just say.
There's only one problem.
No, but I mean that's what I just heard you say. What is wrong with that?
Campaign money is for your campaign, not for the campaign of Romney, because that's exactly what it's for.
Oh, so we're adding.
So we're adding. Doing that.
So in other words, if I were to give you campaign donations, and you went door to door, or drove somewhere to assist
and spent your money
and spent campaign dollars assisting another state representative.
Oh no.
Then
no, that's not factual.
That's not factual?
No, you in turn can give someone money from another campaign.
I don't
like
think
you have $1,000, you want to help out another Republican in another part of you can write them a check for $500.
No, I think you have to have the Republican Party, for example, could write me a check. The Democratic Party could write you a check.
Correct.
I don't think I could write you a check for my campaign funds. When I give you money as a campaign donation.
Sure you can.
I don't believe so.
Well, sure you can. If it's a donation and you happen to like me.
But I can give it to you personally, from my personal funds,
no,
but not from my campaign funds.
Absolutely not. No, you can do that. If you wanted to write me a check for $1,000 for my campaign, you can do that. And by the way, this is nothing new. Republicans and Democrats do support Democrats and Republicans who are either from their state or from their town. But let's get back. I just want to get to Kelly Ayotte. She's from Nashua. I think she's losing her balance. Let me finish.
How?
Let me finish. She's hanging around with the Romney because she's good looking, because she's energetic, and she'll basically do what they want her to do, and that is to travel around, spend her own campaign money.
Yeah.
And if the public knew what I know, because I was on FRM, which is, as you know, financial mortgage resources.
Go ahead. Tell people what's wrong with this. Is great.
I sat down during this.
Yeah.
She was at that time she was Attorney General, and there was the largest Ponzi scheme in the history of the state, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars that people had lost. It was during her time, before her time, and during her time. And I asked her if she knew about it. This was at a joint House and Senate. And she said no. She says, the buck did not come to my desk, so I could not stop it. And I said, excuse me, that's not what it means. The buck stops here. Mm-hmm. Well, the buck did not come to my... I said, no. What it means is you're responsible.
Why is she responsible?
if you don't know what's taking place, not only in your state regarding a $30 or $40 million thing. Let me finish.
But
let
no,
me
wait,
no.
Okay,
Let me finish.
Make it quick.
Okay,
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, good. Let me finish. What you don't know, which I will throw into the mix of this, she said she didn't know about it. We found information, and I'll give you names, not today, I'll give you names. We found information that there were people in her own office who knew, not only knew, but were talking to the FBI about it. So if she didn't know, or she lied, which I think better if she would have lied than didn't know, because if you don't know what's going on in your own state, and you're the Attorney General, and if it's that big of a deal, that's all I have to say about Kelly Ayotte. She would not be senator. They would be asked her to resign.
Ken, let me ask you, FRM, who had oversight of FRM? Who were the people who were in control?
Who had oversight?
Yeah, who had oversight?
Well, it's a criminal. It's the Attorney General's office.
I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure it is. And who was in charge of the legislature?
No, you just.
Wait a minute.
You just asked the question.
And you answered.
No, you asked who was in charge of
the legislature.
Who was in charge was the Attorney General.
No, she wasn't.
In charge.
She wasn't.
She wasn't in charge.
She was not in charge of investigating FRM.
Like hell.
She wasn't.
Excuse me,
no,
Attorney General
that was
is
part
the
of the issue.
top cop. And she's trying to say she didn't know?
It wasn't an Attorney General issue. It was being overseen by other agencies.
This
has been all over the news.
Bull.
And besides,
that's
who was
full of bull.
Who was in charge of the legislature?
You're right.
It was the Democrats who were in charge of the legislature. Why didn't
I'm a Democrat. I'm here telling you.
No, but why weren't you doing something when the time was right?
I did.
Why weren't you doing oversight?
But she left. That's what happened.
Oh,
she
mean
decided
she left
to leave to run for the Senate. If she was there for another 60 days, she would have been asked to resign, and she would not be doing what she's doing right now, which is not helpful to you. Because if everybody doesn't realize politically she's being taken advantage of because she's a new face, because they can get her to do what basically they want her to do, traveling around spending her own money, the money that they gave her, to campaign for somebody else, that could be against the law.
Well, thank you very much for being concerned about Republican donors. I think that's very big of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me ask you a question.
I got a couple other things.
Well, I'm sure, but I've got something here. This was in the Concord Monitor, July 31st. Jonathan Capehart, The Washington Post. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read a couple of sentences. This ad should make Democrats nervous. Democrats better beware of the Republican National Committee's more in sorrow than in anger attack ad against the president. Every time I see it, I feel uneasy.
Oh.
Now, the tagline of this is the narrator saying, after talking about how President Obama has been a steward of a failing economy, no. What bothers me are the narrator's last line, spoken as we see a black and white image of a downward-looking Obama. He tried. You tried. It's okay to make a change. So what this is saying is that it's okay to like President Obama on a personal level, even though he's ineffective and ineffectual.
The only problem with that ad is when he took over, there was a loss of jobs of 250,000 a month, 160,000 a month. That stopped 50, 100,000 a month now, adding to jobs. One war is gone and another one is numbered. More people are getting on this bus of prosperity, more jobs are being created, and what he would like to do is something that you Republicans don't like. What you don't like to hear is he wants to tax the rich. And that's not taxing. You see, 10 years ago, we gave him this money to do what? It was called a tax break, is to build the economy, make this country strong, make this country better than it was, so your kids and my kids, or even you and me, can live better than how our parents lived. They didn't do it. They screwed up the economy. They ruined practically the entire world economically right here. Now, the president says, now, hold on a second. We're not going to charge them for the money we gave them. We're just going to stop giving it to them. And you guys call that a tax. Sorry, it's not a tax.
Well, millions of Americans were swept up in the drama of the 2008 election. They were proud to cast a ballot that helped elect the first African-American president of the United States. Many of these same people have soured on Obama because of what they believe he hasn't been able to achieve. People are conflicted. Poll after poll shows that while Obama gets low marks for his fiscal stewardship, people like him personally, much more so than Romney. I like Obama. I'd love to sit down. In fact, if I could, I'd replace you with him. I think we'd have a much better show. He's much more reasonable than he's much more.
Excuse me.
He's much more reasonable than you are.
I may replace you with him. I'm talking to the Democratic Party, and he may come on one of these days.
Well, but I mean he's a very personable guy. He's smart as a whip. He's got great skills. He has had stewardship for almost 4 years.
Really? Let me see.
He's been in charge.
And when he took over, there were 2 wars. The economy was tanked. 250,000 jobs a month were being lost. Stop. 250,000 jobs are not being lost. Lowly 50,000 were added last month. 1 war is gone, and guess what? Everyone is impatient, especially during an election year. Of course, everybody's impatient, and that's what they want to play. You can be really impatient because he hasn't done anything. Well, let's look at what he has done. He's done everything to bring the economy back. But of course, by the way, that ad is very good.
It is a great ad.
I'll tell you why it's good. It's good because they don't criticize him. They have people out there who they think are right on the cusp of voting for him or voting for Romney, and it's okay not to vote for him. He tried. Now, let us look. Romney is going to do what? 2 years of taxes? Cayman Islands, he's already admitted that one of the reasons why they set up the accounts in the Cayman Islands so other people from other parts of the world can do business out of the Cayman Islands in the United States and not pay U.S. taxes. Is this the type of president you want?
So in other words, what you're saying is
it?
Mitt Romney has been an extremely successful business person according to the laws and rules and regulations.
Yeah, let me see.
According to the laws, rules, and regulations in effect.
Let me see if I've got this.
Exceptionally effective.
No, wait a minute. Let's see if I've got this straight. It's okay for you to hear the truth from him being he set up the Cayman Islands account so other people around the world could do business in the United States and not pay U.S. taxes, and that's acceptable to you?
Is it legal?
Illegal or not, is that acceptable to you?
Is it legal?
Legal or not, is that acceptable to you?
Is it legal?
Is that acceptable to you?
I'm asking you, is it legal?
I would say morally, no. Morally, is it legal? Morally, is it legal?
Morally, if it's legal, it's legal.
No, morally to you, is that legal?
You mean paying a smaller amount of tax legally?
No. We're not talking.
That's what it is.
We're not talking about him. We're talking about him bringing other people into the country through the Cayman Islands and not paying taxes in the United States. Is that morally okay with you?
If it's illegal, he should be prosecuted.
Okay.
If it's not illegal but it's inappropriate, we should change the law.
Wait.
But to nail somebody because they are doing something legal, they are being effective, and they're being open about it because you don't like it. That's a whole lot of hooey.
All right, okay, so you want
hooey.
to...
That's the new word for the day, hooey.
Good, and let me see. We are, and by the way, the ad reads simply, oh, well, he's tried, etc. It's good enough. We'll let him go. And he has money in the Cayman Islands, which, by the way, it takes people to manage money, which could come to the United States. He has money in Bermuda, which, by the way, it takes people to manage the money, which could be in the United States. He has money in the Cayman Islands, which, by the way, it takes people to manage the money in the Cayman Islands, which could come here. And how about a Swiss bank accounts? Gee, it takes money to manage that money. So 50, 75, 80, 100 jobs maybe. managing his money. He's running for the presidency of the United States, and he's got his money someplace else, legal or not. I don't want that. And I don't think Republicans really think this is a great idea. I think they're trying to find out, people like you coming forth and arguing with me about this. But let me tell you, ethically, morally, it stinks. And it doesn't make, and not to only give 2 years of his taxes, excuse me. Oh, and by the way, was he given some sort of a tax break because, what was that called? We talked about it last time in Switzerland. You know, when people had their money in there and the government found out who it was, they gave them what? So they wouldn't be charged with a crime. They gave them the opportunity to admit what they had, to pay the taxes, and they would not be prosecuted. Was Romney one of those people who wasn't paying taxes to the United States?
You mean sort of like...
And that was illegal.
Sort of like immigration amnesty, where people come into the country illegally and then they're granted amnesty?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
No. Is that illegal? So that's illegal.
I'd like to...
Not paying taxes to the United States
is
is illegal.
I have been sitting here very respectfully listening to what you're saying and doing it in a quiet way and trying to take everything in. And what happens is when I try to confront you with something, you just pick up your cudgel and beat me over the head.
Oh, facts really
bother
you.
Let me get to the facts.
Truths bother you.
Let me get to the facts. First off, to a certain extent, I agree with you about the income tax. I think he should do at least 5 or 7 years. I don't know how many years, but I think this 2 years.
Same as Obama, 7 years.
Whatever. I think this 2-year thing is hurting him, and it's a sideshow, it's a diversion, it's something that he doesn't need. And if in fact there is something there that he doesn't want people to see, it's going to come out. One way or another, it's going to come out. So I think just do it. Do it now, get it over with. That's the first thing. Secondly, if we agree on that. We pretty much do.
Okay, we agree on it. So you would say that the people who are watching you believe in that.
Let me just finish this. You asked me about 3 questions. The second thing is about, whether what he's done is immoral or illegal as far as business stuff. What I would say is, if Mitt Romney has done something illegal, it should be addressed through the courts and the judicial process, whatever. If he has done something immoral, that's something that no, let me finish.
We're talking about amnesty here
now. No,
there's a difference between
Hang on for a second. If he's done something that you think is immoral, then you have a perfect right to confront him on that.
Or
confront me, which you did.
We just did.
I, on the other hand, don't know of anything that he's done that's illegal or immoral. And in fact, if I'm going to vote for somebody who says, I am a business professional, I'm very good at what I do, I can take this expertise and I can apply it to the country, I want to know that that guy's been an effective business professional. And in fact, Romney has.
Yeah, now wait a minute. He has admitted...
Thank you for listening to me.
You're right. He has admitted of taking jobs from Massachusetts and sending them to India to save money in Massachusetts, which took people out of work.
To save money in Massachusetts?
To save money in Massachusetts.
Oh, you mean the government of Massachusetts,
yes,
the taxpayers?
Because of the government.
To save taxpayers' money.
But the problem is, how many taxpayers did he put on welfare by taking the jobs away?
Well, we know he saved, according to you, we know he saved tax dollars.
So, yeah, right. Save tax dollars. Except you take jobs from the United States and sent them to India. Is that the type of good business you believe is really good business? Is this the type of sort of good business that you want your Republican friends and maybe some Democrats to vote for this guy because that's good business?
Well, let's flip this around. Let's say that he said, oh no, we have to keep people on the government payroll because perish the thought that they might have to encounter the same kind of stresses that people who are private citizens and work in the private sector have to do if something happens and they're laid off or downsized, or if a company says, hey, we've got to be more efficient or we're going to go under, which the state of Massachusetts could very well do because it's one of the highest tax states in the country.
All right, you're like one of
those are facts.
You're like one of those animals who who eat their children. What you're saying is the people who work in Massachusetts in the government, right? Geez, they're expendable because they work in the government. Excuse me, they have families, they say send kids to college, they raise children, they pay their bills, they pay tax. But wait a minute, they work in the government, so it's okay to take their job and send them to India.
What I'm saying is it's not okay that we say, once you work for the government, you've got a sinecure for 40 years. That's what I'm saying.
We're not saying that.
But that's effectively what you're saying.
You're getting so good at being a Republican
Thank you.
Sometimes you
I really appreciate that.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Forget about the sensibility. When you take jobs away from the United States of America and send them somewhere else, and then you want to be president, I say no, you can't. You have lost your right. If you have your money in other countries where other people are managing it, where other people are making money on your money in other countries right now, and he's not bringing it into this country, and he's complaining about what the President of the United States is doing, when he can himself create jobs, that's a no-no. That's not only immoral, that's wrong. He can create jobs right now, but he wants to wait till the election's over. So they put out ads like, oh, but he tried. Really, I'm trying and you're trying to do what? To get our points across? That's a question.
I'm trying to listen. See, I'm trying to listen respectfully.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait a minute. Are we?
You got more? I've got a whole list. I've been sick. I got better.
Well, I know you've been sick. I just, I'm going through this stuff. Here we have...
You grab one. I got another one about Romney.
Here we have Maggie Hassan agreeing with people that Republicans should be beat with a bat. You can beat them with your
bat.
Beat with your bat. At a recent campaign rally, Hassan was asked how she could beat Republicans this fall. Oh. Someone standing near the back of the room shouted, "You can beat them with a bat. You can beat them with your hands. You can beat them with your feet." And Hassan responded, "That's a good answer."
And let me see. You as a Republican who just said,
I'm going to get beaten with a bat.
As long as it's not illegal, it won't admit it's immoral. And then for a lady, by the way,
who's going to beat me with a bat,
to say, oh, well, we can beat him with our bat, as if that's serious. Gee,
she wasn't serious?
What balances out?
You know something, you're right. It was said with levity. It wasn't serious. It's an example of how the media can take a comment and how partisanship. I mean, there's some Republican partisans who said she should resign.
That's the reason why you're sitting right where you are.
Because?
Because I was doing a show called Gidge World. I was not happy. Wait a minute. I was not happy. This is a compliment. I was not happy all the time talking to Democrats when I really, truly believed to put a Republican right where you are. I gave up my show and splitting the show with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I think this is more lively and this is more... For you to turn around and say what you just said, all right, and not hold that Republican dumb thing,
mm-hmm.
all right, I must congratulate you.
Oh, thank you.
Because what you do is you take the wind out of somebody's sail. You don't, it's not dumb. But can we get back to Romney?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Here we are. We're state representatives. We don't know our butt from our belfries about national politics. We barely know about state politics.
From our belfries?
Our butt from our belfries. Our backside from our head.
Excuse me, New Hampshire politicians here in the state know more about politics than any other state in the United States. And I think we've already figured that out. Oh, and by the way, did you know that Nashua, Manchester are considered the second best place to live in the United States?
I do, and I also know that kids growing up, there was something within the last week about how children, this is the top state to have a child, New Hampshire.
Really?
Yes, this is children have better lives in this state, better opportunities.
Okay, we're going to save that because we're going to take a break. We'll take a short break. Okay, this is Ken Gidge, this is The Art of Politics. This is Dave, the bad guy. I'm the good guy. Democrat, Republican, he might think differently. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
He's still a communist.
This has been a short break. We're taking these breaks for hopefully people will put political ads in, or maybe they'd like to sponsor a show. And you can sponsor shows with Dave and myself, or through Dave only, or whatever. But we took a break, and something's going to be put in between. But we ended with Dave, Representative Robbins, talking about children here in the state of New Hampshire.
Children. And before I get into that, I just want to say, I ain't sponsoring nothing. I don't want your money. Now, having said that,
excuse me. Let me say, I will sponsor because I do need your money. You see, he's retired and he has a pension. I'm not retired. I'm still working. He's not necessarily wealthy, but rich enough to do this. I'm a poor guy. The reason why I'm doing this at the State House is because I'm one of those guys is I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
children.
So send your money.
Oh, all right.
All right, okay.
Yeah, my understanding is a newspaper article in the last week or so that this is the best state for children growing up in the country, and I think that's wonderful. And you know something, that's something that transcends Republican Democratic stuff.
Right.
I mean,
So,
it's not a partisan
yeah,
issue.
that got me going when you said we here in New Hampshire know nothing about politics.
Well, no, I was thinking national.
National.
I was thinking more you and I.
National. Well, guess what?
What?
We do.
All right.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Because you can't have a state which is one of the cleanest states, one of the least corrupt states. They're certainly not paying your politicians anything. You're getting far more than what you're paying for, obviously. You don't even treat your politicians good.
Well, it's nice to know we're cost effective, and
Yeah,
we're worth every penny we get.
Some of us are. So no. Those who go up there and forget where they're from. My motto is, if it's good for Ward 6, it's good for the state of New Hampshire. People who leave the city go up there, forget. They pass these bills, or they take like the 10 cents off the package of cigarettes. That means there's not money coming in for education. That means that we must raise taxes here in the city of Nashville. People leave here, go up there, and forget where they're from. Okay.
Well, you know,
but it's a great state.
It's a great state, and here there's an article in here about how we are just about exactly on target for income for the biennium. Only a couple of $1 million off and a $2 billion.
And by the way, there's a little misinformation by the Republicans put out there that simply said that there was a deficit of close to $1 billion. Well, let's make something really clear. In the state of New Hampshire, it's law that you must balance your budget. When the last budget was done, it was balanced with a $9 million surplus. One of your people in your party is running around and saying that the Democrats did not balance their budget. That is a lie.
Yeah, you've got to have a balanced budget. I mean, by law. You got to have a balanced budget.
So anybody who says that, don't let them sell you that. Hey, could I got a couple more things about Romney.
No, I know you do.
Romney and religion.
But I just want to respond to that. What actually was the case is the budget was balanced over the preceding biennium before the Republicans took control by doing such things as bonding, as selling state property, as factoring in millions and millions of dollars of government money that the state knew was a one-time shot that was not going to be repeated in this biennium. So there was no question but that this
was it
budget,
legal?
It was legal.
Was it legal?
It was legal.
Was it legal?
It was legal.
Was it morally and ethically okay?
To do what?
To balance our budget.
Well, it's legal. We have to.
And morally,
we don't have a choice.
Oh, okay. So, and your complaint is?
My complaint is that my complaint is that the prior legislature from the prior biennium before us, before the good guys became in charge, could have very well eased what we had to do by slowing down spending and factoring in lower taxes, factoring in lower expectations.
Well,
essentially what you did, I'm almost done. Essentially what you and your party did was say, we're going to screw things up so that when those Republicans take charge, they take the hit for this. Essentially what your party did, the same thing that you're accusing George Bush of doing.
Wait a minute.
We are the Obamas of your
What happened
analogy.
about ethical and moral?
We
All
are
of a sudden,
stuck. we're having to clean up the mess
It
that
changes.
you
I
put
see.
into effect.
And of course, let me see, it wasn't the Republicans who ran the country and the banking and the economy right down
about
to
the state.
a ruin.
I'm talking about the
It's not
state.
the Republicans who started the 2 wars. It's not the Republicans that keep giving the tax breaks to the fat guys. So when we come up to a great recession, right, you guys take 10 cents off cigarette taxes. $10 million. Let me see. How smart is that? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe people who smoke more die more, so we won't have to pay Medicaid.
You know,
can we move on?
You know, there's one thing.
I've got something to say about Romney and religion, because this is important.
All right. And one last thing. On the cigarette tax, and I think I've said this on the air, and I'll say it again.
Yeah, you have.
If I had to do it all over again, I voted to reduce the tax.
I know.
If I had to do it all over again, I would make a different decision. And you know what? The important thing for me is I learned from that. I learned more about how the system operates. This was now hang on for a second.
A $10 million mistake is...
No, it's not a $10 million mistake if enough people learn from it. I now know that when somebody comes up to me and says, if we reduce this tax, we're going to increase this revenue, that I got to ask a lot more questions than I did. I think if I'm going to continue in the House, which is going to be up to the voters, that's important.
You know, you're right about that, and I was lucky to have. I was lucky enough to say I don't know anything, so let's go find the people who know everything.
Yeah.
Okay. You were swept up in the mob mentality of a supermajority, and let's have that not happen again. I want to talk one thing about religion.
Oh, okay. I love religion.
Okay, religion. Now, here in the United States, we have the right to practice the religion that we wish.
Or no religion at all. Or atheism.
All right. Romney is a Mormon.
Yep.
Okay. Being a Mormon is not a Scientologist. A Mormon is a religion. Now, in their religion, they've screwed up. So haven't everyone else in all their religions. Romney goes to Israel, goes to the Wailing Wall, which pandering to the absolute religious right. And if you think we have religious right over there, in Jerusalem, in Israel, they got really the religious right. He talks about protecting Israel. I agree. Everybody agrees Israel should be protected. All right? He makes the speech. He leaves. What he didn't do is he didn't cross the border and talk to the Palestinians who happen to be Muslims, who, by the way, the Muslims now run Egypt, will run Syria as a government, Iran, and a few more. And for him not to acknowledge Muslims and just one sect of religion is so wrong. Here in this country, we ought to know better than that. He is a Mormon. He'll be the first Mormon to be president of the United States. He should know better. He knows that this has made a difference or may make a difference in his election. But I, myself, who's a Democrat, who says, guess what? It's freedom to practice what you want. But he going over there and not going across the border and talking to the Palestinians and acknowledging that their religion and them, they are pretty important people themselves. So that's on religion.
So how many times has President Obama gone to Israel and then gone over and spoken with the Palestinians?
Twice.
Did he really?
And wait a minute. And how many times has the government? How many times has Hillary Clinton been there? How many times has there been other people from this administration over there? That's one of the reasons why there's peace. Believe it or not.
No, I'm serious. I didn't realize that he had.
I'd say once.
All right. I asked. Good for him.
Know better.
Good for him.
Here is a guy who's running for the presidency who should know better, and we're coming up to we have about 3 minutes left.
All right. I think you're. You know what? I think you're raising a valid point in this respect. First off, I'm not Jewish. If I went to Jerusalem, I would want to go up to the Wailing Wall, and I would want to put my prayer in the wall.
I see nothing wrong with that.
I just, just the same way if I went to the Vatican, as I have gone to some of the cathedrals in this country and other countries, I pray. You know, I light candles.
Your point.
The point is that I think that that's a wonderful thing. Should he, at this point, have gone across and spoken with the Palestinians? I honestly don't know, and I'll tell you why very quickly. I don't know to what extent that would be perceived as getting involved with foreign affairs.
We're not talking about Jews or Palestinians. We're talking about Judaism, and we're talking about the Muslim religion. That's what I'm talking about. Should we protect Jerusalem? Of course. Nobody disagrees with that. You fool with them, you fool with us. But for somebody not to go there or walk into a mosque over there or to talk to somebody, that's eliminating basically the entire Muslim faith. We got to say goodbye.
All right. Well, I've really enjoyed this. I'm hoarse. And you can ask me, am I going to be hoarse, have stopped being hoarse or not? Whatever.
Okay, my name is Ken Gidge.
I'm Dave Robbins.
We are, by the way, you can get me at KGIDGE. That's my email address. Or go to Gidge World, which, by the way, is, well, it's a website, but it's an odd site. Also, you can go up to Sovereign Bank on Main Street and see some of my work up there. And also my cell phone number. And by the way, you should call if you disagree or agree with us. We'll give you 5 minutes to come in here to sit down and give us hell or say, hey, you guys are doing a good job. So my name is Ken Gidge, and you have some numbers to give?
My name is Dave Robbins, and I'm at 978-500-9475. David S. Robbins at Comcast.net. And Ken, when are you going to be at Sovereign Bank? When are the pictures going up?
Well, they should be up there tomorrow, so this may be running Monday, so they'll be up there.
All right, so they'll be up. Do it. As soon as we get off the air, I'm going to write Ken a check for this, give it to my son and future daughter-in-law. I love it. I'm going to buy another one if I can possibly afford it because they're expensive. No, they're not that expensive. And,
not to you.
I love you got to try it. This is very unique artwork.
You have to see it. You got to see it.
You got to see it. It's beautiful. Yeah. Thanks. Good to talk to you, my man.
Okay, good to talk to you. Okay, thank you. See you next time.
Take care.